A couple on a mission to build and move a luxury floating home.
They say, don't worry, but I worry.
Slow down.
Slow down.
Can a team transport their dream house?
One small step for man, giant leap for mankind.
70 miles across Holland.
When we don't make it perfect, the boat's going to sink.
At any moment, things can go wrong.
The crew must dodge dangerous ice
I don't know how thick the ice is.
Whoa! And wrangle huge cranes.
Yeah, stop. Stop, 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 stop. Oh! Is it safe?
One luxury aquatic abode, one team with a mission to move it. A titanic adventure that will test the nerves of the people who dare to do monster moves. The Netherlands, a country built along a maze of riverbanks and waterways. Wim Jelsma and Karen Koenig have lived here in the bustling city of Groningen for 27 years, raising their 3 children in this house.
Where we live now in Groningen, it's a lovely city with a lot of things to do. It's a vivid city. This is our living room.
Then over here, you can see the kitchen. This house is a beautiful house for having children growing up. In this room, there are a lot of memories.
And that's the problem. Now that the family have flown the nest, their home feels too empty. It's too much for Karen.
This house has its own history, with children living here, and look back to it with a lot of joy and happiness. And
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, can you cut?
Despite the tears, they're now ready not just for a new start, but for something altogether more adventurous. A complete change of scene.
Our dream house should have a lot of space, view, horizon.
And then water. We want
Near water.
near water. So that is on the top of the list.
With water in mind, Wim and Karen have traveled to Urk to meet Willem Visser, a visionary who builds ingenious homes. Homes that float.
We made a list with points which are important for us.
What we definitely want is a house with view on the water, sky.
Yeah. Can floating homes deal with rising water?
When the water is rising, the homes are rising also, and the mooring poles keep them on their place.
We want to have a location which makes it possible to go to the city by bike.
This is a big list.
Yes, very big list.
Yes.
But I don't hear very difficult things. I think that we can solve everything.
Fortunately for Wim and Karen, Willem's factory is about to start work on a whole new waterborne community. An exclusive multi-million-pound development around a large man-made lake called Meerstad. At its heart will be 7 luxury floating homes, boasting stunning views across the water. Just what Wim and Karen are looking for. Their own 2-bedroom, 2-story bespoke home will cost around £300,000.
We talked to Willem and we have a very good feeling about the project, and it's meeting our wishes, so we are at the point to say we are going to do it.
We are going to do it. We are going to build our floating home. Yes.
But building these buoyant abodes is only half the challenge. Once built, Willem's team must sail all 7 floating homes from the factory in Urk through 70 miles of busy canals, lakes and waterways, then truck them 1.5 miles across land through narrow country roads to reach the lake in Meerstad. It's the ultimate obstacle course and fraught with danger.
Sometimes I have this uncomfortable feeling of things going wrong. They say, it's no problem, don't worry, but I worry.
At Willem's house factory in Urk, the team prepare for stage 1, build the home's foundations. It's a job for Kurt Schnook, the king of concrete.
Today's mission is to make a concrete foundation for a houseboat. We need a lot of concrete at this point.
The foundations of Wim and Karen's new marine home must be huge to take the weight of all their belongings. This hull, which also forms the basement, will be made from concrete. Casting it in sections would be faster, but where there are joints, there's a risk of leaks. Their floating home wouldn't be floating for long. So they must cast the hull in one seamless pour. An extremely tricky feat on a building 15 meters long.
Once we start pouring, there is no way back. We have to do it and we got to go through with it. We need to make it perfect. Because when we don't make it perfect, the boat is going to sink. So we cannot have any mistakes. Okay, we have 3 sides done, 1 more to go.
With 10 tons poured, Kurt must work fast to lay the floor as it'll set in a matter of hours.
When you look at this, it's put together as one. So we have to make sure that the concrete is wet. Okay.
A special hose gets rid of unwanted air pockets. These would weaken the structure.
Now you can see when he's putting the vibration into the concrete, it vibrates the floor with the wall together. There's some bubbly, some air bubbles. Perfectly done.
It's critical Kurt lays the concrete evenly so the house doesn't tilt.
I'm gonna get this to get the extra concrete away and this to make it nice and smoothly. See you soon.
Yeah, from up here, the concrete is looking just fine now.
So I give it a last check now. It seems like that everything went perfectly. Less than 24 hours, you can walk over.
Tomorrow, the big test. Will the concrete hull sink or swim? In the Netherlands, the hull of Wim and Karen's luxury floating home has set. Before they can attach the upper walls, the construction crew must check if the basement actually floats and is flat. Calling the shots is foreman Peter Willem Nentisch.
The plan today is to try to make this a floating home, so we try to get the water into the dry dock.
Peter needs to channel over 1,000 tons of icy water from the Urk Canal into the factory. But they must be careful. Open the dock gate and a powerful water surge would slam the basement into the walls, sinking the house before they have a chance to see if it floats. So the team will control the water flow by releasing the air inside a thin rubber tube that runs around the gate's edge. As the seal deflates, water will slowly pour in.
This process cannot be rushed because it maybe can damage the floating home. I'm going to release the air from the door, so the water is coming in.
There's not much space on both sides, so they have to be very careful to get it out properly. It might get damaged, I think. And that is the moment it gets real for us after this is real floating home. Well, they normally know what they're doing, but...
The water rises, but the concrete hull is still stuck to the dock floor. They'll need to risk a bigger surge of water to release it.
We want to take the door out so we can get the boats out. It's the last water is coming in now, and then we can take it out.
They did it! It floats!
It was a great moment. Beautiful.
It's not over yet. Their hopes could still be shattered.
Well, we're now going to do an inspection, see if there's no cracks, see if it's watertight.
If Peter finds any leaks in the basement, they'll have to scrap the whole hull and start again from scratch.
The bathroom is fine. Everything is dried. It's a good check and everything is all right. There's no leaks. Everything is watertight.
Now Peter's crew can tow the hull to the construction hall to begin building the upper floor. With the clients on board, he's got his fingers crossed for a smooth ride.
Bye-bye, we're going out. We're standing in our living room.
Well, I didn't expect to be actually sailing on my own house.
No.
Over the next few weeks, they erect the walls of the bespoke home. Lavish in design, it boasts 2 large bedrooms, a handcrafted kitchen, floor-to-ceiling windows, and even an array of solar panels to generate power.
Whoa.
The wood looks nice. Okay.
It's even bigger than I thought. Oh! Here's going to be my kitchen. Come on here on the couch. We will sit here on the couch with. Wow. Ah.
Now we've seen it, you want to keep it like this, and I hope they are very careful with it in transportation and craning it. Yeah, I don't want it to be demolished.
But before the big move, the team need to build the other 6 homes that will make up the waterborne development in Meerstad.
Every Meerstad home is different. They have all the special demands. You have different shapes. They have split level, they have different bathrooms, bedrooms, 1 or 2 or 3, a big living room or a small living room, jacuzzis. So it's rather difficult to build floating homes. To build the houses in Meerstad, we have a very tight schedule. There are strict deadlines, and that's a challenge for us.
It takes the team 26 weeks to complete the 7 floating homes. Now they're ready to begin their epic voyage. It's the day of the first house move in Urk. This is where the real challenges kick in. Wim and Karen's house will do the test run. It will be the first of 7 floating homes to be towed more than 70 miles to Groningen.
Okay.
The man responsible for ensuring their investment doesn't sink is Captain Peter Boxu.
The floating homes are not made to navigate or sail. So this is a very special transport, and it takes special precautions to do it right.
Captain Peter will need every bit of his experience to plot a safe route through some of the Netherlands' busiest waterways. His trusted tug, the Anna 7, alone might not be powerful enough to control the homes on their voyage. Boat traffic, vicious swells and low bridges will make this a nautical nightmare. For more control, Peter will anchor the Anna 7 to the rear of the homes to provide thrust and steering, whilst connecting its sister ship, the Anna 1, to the front to act as a brake. This should give them the extra power they need to dodge the obstacles en route in any weather.
They're figuring how to connect the tug to the ark, because it's lying here in the corner, and it's rather difficult to get the ark in the right position. So they have some puzzling to do.
Een klein stukje naar voren. We just need a little bit of more space down here at the rear. So we're moving the whole object a little bit forward. One small step for man, giant leap for mankind. There it goes. The first meters of our great journey.
We're moving.
There's no room for errors with the owners on board.
It's going to happen now. I'm excited. I'm feeling that we are floating already. We are not connected to the wall anymore, just to the two boats.
I have a special place down here, only for me.
A water-level ledge helps Peter lash the house to these hard-to-reach tow points.
It looks like a circus act.
Yeah.
The floating home is extremely vulnerable. So with every move you make, you have to do it very slowly, just to make sure you won't damage it.
You take good care of our new baby, yeah.
Maneuvering a 130-ton fragile building demands a lot of expertise.
It needs a little room to make the turn, and this pole is a little in the way. Now we're hitting the pole.
Kind of difficult to maneuver, just the way we like.
Okay. Maneuvering on the millimeter. Now we got room to move.
And now we're going to meet the first obstacle, and that will be the bridge in about 500 meters. The bridge is only 7 meters wide. The floating home is 6 and some centimeters. So we have to do it very carefully.
This will be a nail-biting squeeze.
The bridge is opening.
It looks like it doesn't fit. It's very narrow.
About 20 meters.
We have a little slightly wind coming from a bit over the side that causes a little bit of a problem.
The gusts make steering the 130-ton home extra difficult.
Zeg het.
Slow down.
Slow down. Oh, it's just a few centimeters.
One crack, and Karen and Wim won't be moving in this year.
Almost. It's quite narrow here.
The house just squeezes through.
That was the first bridge, and it went very well.
But there's no respite for the crew just yet. Up ahead, Peter must guide the house through a tight lock so they can raise it 7 meters into Lake IJsselmeer for the next stage of its journey. Once inside, they must moor the tug or it could get bashed around by the currents. But fix her for too long and she could get pulled under. So the crew must constantly readjust the moorings as the water rises to make sure the home reaches the lake intact.
Distance is about 30 meters. At some point we have to make contact to the wall of the locks. We have to be prepared for it, that it happens. About 20 meters.
I can touch the lock, the walls of the lock. It's very narrow here.
You hear the bell because the bridge is going to open.
They must lift the road bridge ahead or the house could get squashed as the water rushes in.
And now they're filling the lock with water. But you can never relax with this job, never.
Yes, I can feel it.
Yeah, I feel the boat moving and it goes slowly up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They race to reposition the moorings as the house rises.
Ja, zo blijft hij net vrij, denk ik.
Time this wrong and they could get pulled under.
At these moments you have to be very, very, very focused. Because at any point, at any time, at any moment, things can go wrong. So far, so good.
Now they are opening the doors and we are on the same level as the water level of the IJsselmeer.
This transport is just a little bit too big for these locks. Well, these were the locks. Perfect.
Finally, Wim and Karen's floating home ventures out into Lake IJsselmeer, a 20-mile stretch of treacherous open water.
It's a very, very big lake, and the waves can be very mean down there. The waves can become about 1.5 meters till 2 meters high. And it's not a place you want to be with a floating home.
Peter plots the quickest course across the lake, hoping to avoid any underwater dangers.
This morning we also hit some ice rocks, so we don't want to happen it again.
Parts of the IJsselmeer are frozen, and there are icebergs just below the surface.
As long as they are small, it's no problem. When they get bigger, well, it might become a problem.
Captain Peter must keep a hawk-like eye on the horizon to avoid a titanic collision. In the Netherlands, Wim and Karen's new luxury floating home is 18 miles into its 70-mile journey to Meerstad. Captain Peter needs to plot a safe 20-mile route across Lake IJsselmeer, as dangerous chunks of ice left over from winter lurk under the waves.
You have to be a little bit careful for the ice field that is coming up. It's not a big field, but I don't know how thick the ice is.
A collision with a berg could fracture the house's hull, causing the basement to flood.
I just saw a big one on that side.
Some ice in about 50 meters.
Peter orders the small tug to go to the front of the house to take the brunt of any impacts.
Oh, look at the ice.
But it's worse than Peter thought. With the hull of the house taking a battering, Wim heads to the basement to check for leaks.
The water level is about here, I think. It looks all dry.
We made it through the ice field. These are the last rocks.
The house may be out of the ice, but more problems lie ahead. Over in Meerstad, the home's final destination, the ice is causing a nightmare for the project's director, Willem Visser.
Well, you see, it's much ice, too much ice at this moment. 3-4 centimeters, then we can move the floating homes into the water and through the water when there is ice. It's rather irritating and frustrating, but we have to deal with it. So I hope maybe the temperature will rise. It could be a showstopper.
While Willem prays for a thaw, Peter's tackling his toughest test yet, weaving a safe path for Wim and Karen's home through one of the busiest waterways in Europe.
The main obstacles are the big ships. You have to pay good attention to make the passage go without damage. Those are quite big ships on a small canal like this.
Every large cargo vessel they pass creates a powerful wake behind it, one that could slam the floating home into the banks. Peter must carefully steer the 130-ton home into the wake of each ship to reduce the force of its impact.
Hartstikke mooi, bedankt, we komen eraan. It's coming a little bit closer, causing a slight tsunami. You feel us been thrown away a little bit by the current he causes.
After 5 hours at sea, Wim and Karen's pioneering home arrives at the end of the waterway in Groningen.
Hi.
This is fun. Floating.
In our houseboat.
Okay. Who needs a yacht when you have a floating home?
They secure the house to a temporary mooring. It will wait here until the other 6 homes arrive. Only then can its epic journey across land to Meerstad begin.
We made it!
Hello, Peter. Thank you very much for the pleasant journey. It was a pleasure.
Very good, Captain.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
Very nice guests. I enjoyed having you on board on this trip. Very nice.
That was a real pleasure. And well, should do it again, but
For now, I want to
training.
thank you and
5
kiss
in the
you.
morning. Okay.
For the camera.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Peter, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
The next morning, back in Urk, Peter's crew gets set to make another 6 trips to tow the remaining floating homes to Groningen. They've learnt their lesson with the ice field and will alter their course. Peter will divert through inland waterways, rejoining the original route at Lemmer. This will take longer, but should make sure that the homes reach Groningen undamaged.
Ja, oké, zijn we vast hoor. When the weather is rough, we take the inland route through Emmeloord, Band to Lemmer. But the most difficult things about this route are the narrow bridges and the narrow locks we have to pass.
The waterborne community slowly sets sail on its grand journey north. In Groningen, Karen's packing up her family's belongings ready to move into their new home.
There are a lot of stuff in every room, a lot of memories, and while packing, memories come back. Everything that goes through your hands has a story, and that's sad.
12 days later, all 7 luxury floating homes are lined up in Groningen, ready for the most challenging leg of their journey to Meerstad. Having run out of waterway, the team has no option but to move the 7 homes across land to reach the lake where they will be moored. To haul the homes out of the water, they'll need a heavy lift crane. But park it on the canal banks, and the combined weight of the house and crane could cause them to give way. So they'll need to lift the homes using a 300-ton crane that floats. They'll chain it securely to the bank while it hoists the houses onto trucks one at a time, ready for the journey inland. For this titanic task, they've called in Triton. Four huge slings will take the strain. In charge of the lift is foreman Peter Willem Nentish.
The homes are between 130 and 140 tons, so we use a floating crane to lift it up and then put it on a trailer. It's a big one.
Wim and Karen arrive to watch their dream home hang in the balance.
We hope that everything we put in this, also a lot of money, we hope that it will be all right and be taken care of.
We don't need excitement. We keep our fingers crossed.
Guiding the homes into the slings takes great skill. Captain Peter's back to help.
Gaat het goed met deze snelheid? The operation has started. I just got a call that they're ready for us. Triton, Triton, Triton. Here comes Dana 7. Now we're approaching the slings. This is going to be very tight. And the wind has increased a little bit too.
Oh, quite tricky.
We go too quickly into the crane, we might cause damage.
They are going to bump onto this one. Achter je.
Oh ja, dat wel.
The wind is pushing the slings to each other.
The maneuvering is not going very well.
The sling is got stuck at the bottom side of the hull. Now we can go forward very slowly.
It's very difficult to maneuver it, so it almost went wrong.
After edging the house into exactly the right spot,
Okay, wij zijn los.
they can begin the lift.
And they are going to lift it out the water now.
This moment took a long time of waiting. It looked like eternity, but now it's happening. It's in the air.
Now it's not a floating home, but it's a flying home.
The last thing they need now is a crash landing.
We have to put it back to the center.
Little bit to the left.
Not to the right.
Yeah, stop. Stop, 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 stop.
The trouble at this moment is that to position it right on the lorry is not working the way they want to.
The wind is pushing the house off course. If it lands unequally, it could blow a tire.
Oh, 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 oh.
Dat is de middenlijn.
Rechts, ik kom hier.
It's hanging over now. Ooh.
The floating crane has to move a little backwards, so the arc can be positioned straight in the middle of the truck.
A bit of brute force nudges the house home.
The wind was a real problem to get the house on the trailer, but it went well.
Now the team face their most daunting challenge, a 2-mile trek along a narrow road battling traffic, trees and a bridge.
Oh. This is the part I'm the most concerned about.
As the house hits the road, Peter sails the other homes into the slings.
Can you hold him a little bit high?
One by one, they join the convoy to Meerstad. It isn't long before Peter is towing the last house to the crane, but this one requires a little extra care.
This roof is the widest one from all the 7 floating homes. It's the ultimate test. If we go too quickly, we might cause damage, so we have to do everything very slow.
They have to be careful not to crush the overhanging roof with the slings.
It has to be very precise, because when they're lifting the concrete hull, they don't want to have any tension. We delivered the last one. Now it's weekend.
The convoy picks up pace, but an obstacle ahead could bring the journey to a halt.
We have a little problem with the bridge. It's not strong enough, so we need to reinforce the bridge.
It's an old bridge. It's built to take the weight of everyday traffic, but not 130-ton homes. So they must strengthen it with steel beams, strong timbers, and steel sheets. Together, they should support the house's weight and allow them to safely reach Meerstad.
We have to build a bridge over the bridge. It's a very difficult one.
Will this be a bridge too far?
You can hear. Oh! You can hear the heavy wooden plates on the bridge. Is it safe? And now it passed the most tricky part of the transport.
The homes make it across. Now, 1.5 miles of narrow roads is all that stands in the way of these ducks taking back to the water. In the Netherlands, the floating homes are slowly making their way by road to the picturesque lake in Meerstad, where they will be moored.
Boy, boy!
Wim and Karen's house is the first to reach the waterside.
It was fabulous. It was great. All those people watching and following us, it's great. It's a perfect day.
You don't see it every day here. It's spectacular.
But they can't celebrate just yet. The dream home they've invested so much time and money in first needs launching into the lake. 2 land cranes will take the strain as the whole town arrives to watch.
After a long journey with many stages, the moment is almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Touch the water now.
Ja!
Ja, is goed.
Starting the engine. Ja!
To captain their new house home, Wim and Karen jump aboard the tug.
They are connecting the lines so they can take it from here to the mooring place. I imagine this summer we are floating here with our home. Sun, little wind, not too much. Having a nice drink. Ah, this is the life.
And imagine, next summer there will be a beach over there. A little beach.
They're finally here, and they're very glad.
With their house tied to its moorings, Wim and Karen can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
We made it, we made it, we made it.
Yeah.
One by one, the rest of the homes make it to their destination.
This is typical Dutch, of course, living on the water. It's a nice spectacle to see.
It's a very big relief. I think Mistad is one of the hardest jobs we have done. It has been a hell of a job.
Two weeks later, Wim and Karen are back in Meerstad, getting ready to move into their dream home.
Yeah, well, this is the key.
Finally the key.
And this is the start of a new exciting life.
Let's go?
Let's go.
Okay. Are you going to carry me?
Not this time.
High on their wish list was an incredible view of water.
Oh, okay.
Oh, watch this.
What a view. Oh, amazing. It's even better than I imagined. I had a dream about a view, but it's much better. Was it worth all that effort?
Oh, yes.
They can now transform it into a proper home.
We have lots of ideas about how it can be painted the best, which colors we could choose. And we have a lot of plans with the furniture. But we have to work hard because in the beginning of July we want to have a great family barbecue. It's quite a strict deadline and there's a lot to be done before we can realize that.
With their dreams afloat and a view to die for, what more could they possibly want?
Well, I think the next thing on our wish list will be something like a yacht or a small sailing vessel. Or...
Yes, of course. Of course, a little yacht, okay. Okay.
For now, they can celebrate the end of their long journey.
Watch the windows, dear.
This is the moment we waited for. Huh?
Yes!
Let the good life start.
Mm.